Ooh, welcome back to another episode of the Get Back Coach, presented by Apollo Media. Jay, what a weekend filled with just spectacular college football play, college football endings. But before we get into it, who are we brought to you by?
Folks, we're brought to you by BattleBets. If you're wondering what BattleBets is, it is college football fantasy gambling. That's right, fantasy gambling exclusively for college football. 100% free to sign up and play. You can create a league with your friends, place bets on college football each week, and they have spreads, over-unders, money lines, prop bets. So you track your bets, earn points in a league each week. And basically prove your knowledge, prove your ball superiority to your friends. It's 100% free again to download and play. They also have it available on the web store if you don't have an Apple device. So sign up for Battle Bets. Let them know the Get Back Coach sent you by selecting us as your ambassador in the referral section. They have weekly prizes in the community league there. So get on, play Battle Bets, enjoy college football, have a little extra fun. When Saturday rolls around, we'll have links posted on the socials for you to check it out.
Yeah, love battle bets. Again, why waste real money when you can gamble fake money and still possibly win something at the end of the day? It's a no-brainer to me.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. Have a little extra action on it. Before we get into the games, though, we have some coaching changes. More bite the dust. Billy Napier out of Florida after a win, Jay.
Against Mississippi State.
Against Mississippi State. After a win, they let him go. Why not last week? Paperwork has to be.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. Maybe they think that you can win this game, so you'd rather not throw a wrench into it. But it doesn't make sense to me at all. The timeline on this. We'll see where Florida goes from here. I feel like Lane Kiffin's probably going to get a call. I don't know that he leaves Oxford, but I think he's high on the list for him. Definitely an interesting spot. Just it feels like it's been a revolving door of coaches in Gainesville since Urban Meyer left. We'll see if anybody steps in to fill that and see if they can get Florida humming. But definitely been a tough job lately.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. We both said at the end of Dan Mullen's time in Gainesville that it probably needed to happen because there were just weird stuff happening in press conferences. It just seemed very toxic. It wasn't like they were just losing football games, but
the recruiting was bad.
The recruiting was bad. It was like, hey, you're not showing that this is going to be sustainable through the next couple years. But Dan Mullen did win a good amount of games before that bad year. But I just don't think he had anything to show them, hey, this is what we're building towards, which I think that's why he got fired. But yeah, that's a weird spot because the last 2 years, they've had very difficult schedules, like two of the hardest schedules in the country. It's a place that does have resources. It's a place, I don't know if it's number one or probably top 10 resources. Would you say that's fair?
I think so. I think there's quite a bit of support there. The other piece of it is it's a very fertile recruiting ground. I think the top 3 states, in my opinion, as far as college football recruiting: California, Texas, Florida. I think Florida produces just so much talent that's part of why it was so puzzling. Dan Mullen struggled to recruit there.
Yeah,
right? You have so many recruits close.
Well,
you also have the proximity to other places in the Southeast that have a lot of recruits. So definitely, we know that you can win at Florida. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, you know what though, Jay? Remember what Dan Mullen used to say? He used to be like, "Yeah, I don't recruit during the season," and I think that was a big part of them missing out on some recruits because they weren't recruiting guys really during the season. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough spot right now, but all it takes, I think, for Florida is 1 year of like 9-3 or 10-2, and then it's okay. It's
right.
Florida's back. It's, they're kind of forgotten about right now. But you mentioned Lane Kiffin. I think I don't want to like say he's happy at Ole Miss, but they're doing very well. I know they lost this weekend, but they're doing pretty well at Ole Miss. But if he sees that he can have a title contender at Florida and knows he probably can't do that at Ole Miss, then yeah, he's probably going to jump ships. Because I mean, Lane Kiffin having a new job, it's like the wind; it changes direction.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
so
he's going to
quickly.
be as easy to pull out of Oxford as a lot of
Mhm.
people think. I
Right.
think he's gotten comfortable there. I think he likes where he's at. So I think it's going to be a difficult pull. But I don't never say never, right?
Right. Yeah. Um, Out of the Mountain West, our
Yeah.
guy. We thought this was going to work out.
Yeah.
Like we did. This one hurts us.
Yeah. Jay Norvell is out at Colorado State. He put together a good run at Nevada. Obviously changes within conference, which I think a lot of people were upset about. But it just never came together at Colorado State. I think they were 2-5 on the
Mhm.
season. Just a really disappointing year for Colorado State, especially because they had a decent year last year. I think at 8-5, it felt like they were kind of putting something together. Uh, and that's a program that wants to take the next step,
Right.
right? Like you don't
Yeah.
have to go undefeated and run the conference or anything, but just be competitive in the Mountain West.
Mhm.
And they have the new stadium out there, Canvas Stadium. It's beautiful. You got those scenic backdrops of the Front
Yeah.
Range. Uh, it feels like a program that again is just kind of on the precipice, and it didn't seem like Jay Norvell was going to get him there. So they move on. Interested to see where they go from here.
Yeah, me too. Like you said, Colorado State is one of those programs that's really, really trying to take that next step. And we thought they were kind of like a sleeping giant in the Mountain West. Jay Norvell was there. We liked the hire. We thought that they would start getting closer to Boise, kind of being what Wyoming was for a little bit, where Wyoming was like at that 8-4 tier, like that step below Boise. And that's where we thought they were going with it. And it just, I don't know, it just never worked out. Probably the right decision. Yeah, I feel like we won't hear this won't be the last of Jay Norvell. I'm sure he's gonna pop up somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. It was a little bit surprising to see that was the Norvell fired, I think.
Oh my god,
Uh,
yeah.
Speaking of a couple of coaches that we're kind of watching that we know are on the hot seats, Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, Mike
Mhm.
Norvell at Florida State. Both of their admins kind of put out those statements of confidence, words of support. Uh, it seems like that never works out. I
No.
feel like that's more of a bat signal to the donors, like, "Hey, get your checkbooks ready. We're about ready to make a
Yeah.
move."
That's like, head coaches and general managers saying that their quarterback, "Yeah, this is our guy." Yeah, it's gonna be your guy for about another week and then until you
Yeah,
can him. Yeah, Fickle, here's the thing, this is Fickle's third year? Third year.
third year.
Third year. Ugh, year 3. I mean, is it setting up for a make or break year next year? Here's the other thing. If you're going to can Luke Fickell at the end of the year, because listen, it's you're not going to a bowl game. It's
No.
going to be this is
You've been shut out in 2 straight games.
right. Why prolong this? So this
Yeah.
tells me they are going to go year 4 of Fickell and hope it's turning out like Tony Elliott is at Virginia right now.
Yeah, I just don't see any way they keep him. I just don't with the way college football is now, how bad this has been relative to what they expected. I don't see any way Wisconsin holds on
It,
to him, especially
Mhm.
with the win. Like, I guess the one thing that I could see that is preventing Wisconsin from moving now is just how crowded this offseason is likely to
Yeah.
be with people looking for
Yep.
coaches. That could be the one thing I think that may save Fickle's
Yeah,
job
because
because it's not the performance on the
no,
field.
and they know. Listen, Wisconsin. It's crazy to sound, but this isn't the same Wisconsin team 4 years ago. This isn't the same Wisconsin program. So they might be sitting back and thinking, okay, we're going to be last on a lot of these destinations. So let's wait until next year. If Fickle figures it out, great. If not, we fire him and we get a jump on the next year. So pretty much they're punting on the rest of the season, which Okay, fine. But if Fickle doesn't figure it out next year, then at least you're the first to can your coach and get a head start on the coaching search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, this is going to be a wild coaching
Oh my
carousel.
God, it's I'm a part of it, Jay, and I'm a part of it. The other guy, Mike Norvell, I can see this just because you've had some success before, and he beat Alabama, yet I don't know what's going on right now. I mean that lost Stanford, yeah, that lost to Stanford is not good. Um, I don't know. See if he could right the ship. They might be thinking the same thing. I think he gets canned at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think he gets canned at the end of the year. But again, why not fire him now? So I don't know what Florida State's going to do. I have gone on record. I have said I think James Franklin is the perfect candidate for Florida State. I think it's absolutely
No.
perfect. You said it yourself, recruiting hotbed in a power conference that isn't as tough as the Big Ten or the SEC, and you have some of the best resources in your conference. So I think James Franklin, Florida State, I think is a match made in heaven. I don't know what I do not know what Florida State's going to do. However, Jay, flight tracker season, private jet was leaving State College to Tallahassee today. Just saying. I don't know who's on it, but I'm just saying. Do you want to stay on the Penn State? Because you and I have a connection here.
We do. We do. The
The
cultural
cultural
exchange, as it were.
exchange might hit with coaching right now.
Yeah, and so for those who are uninformed, uh, it's not like anything
No.
concrete, but Mike Elko has been a name that has been tossed around in the Penn State coaching search. Obviously, Mike Elko is currently the head coach at Texas A&M, was defensive coordinator there at one point under Jimbo Fisher. Uh, Elko has ties to the Northeast. He's from New Jersey, went to school at Penn. I think he got his first job coaching at Stony Brook. So he's from that part of the country. Uh, Obviously, I felt like we had like a bit of a unique perspective
Mm-hmm.
here with me being an A&M guy, you being a Penn State
Mm-hmm.
guy, talking about the pros and cons of each job, why somebody like Mike Elko might leave, why he might go to a place like Penn State. And there's a lot of, we'll call it uncivilized
Yeah.
talk on the internet about the quality of
Mm-hmm.
jobs. I personally think A&M and Penn State are pretty
Mm-hmm.
comparable. I think they're similar spots. I think some people feel
Mm-hmm.
differently one way or the other. But I'm curious to get your thoughts on why somebody would leave Texas A&M for Penn State, and I can kind of give
Yeah.
my thoughts on why you might stay at A&M, why he might leave A&M. Just some thoughts on Mike Elko in
Yeah.
general.
Listen, Jay, this is good. We don't have the hot takes. We don't have the sound bites. We don't have the silver tongue talk. I feel like people tune into us like us because it's like we're having an actual conversation with people. Um, and to your point, Jay, Penn State and A&M right now are two very comparable jobs. I think Penn State has the historical advantage, while I think Texas A&M probably has the resource advantage and probably has a little bit more money and is in a bigger recruiting hotbed in Texas. Now, why would Mike Elko want to leave for Penn State? I think location. He's from the Northeast. I don't know where his extended family might be. I know his roots are in the Northeast. I think that is really the only reason why he would want to leave for Penn State when he has an undefeated team right now in a recruiting hotbed with a program and university that is going to throw money because and here's the other thing, Jay, A&M, how many varsity sports does A&M have?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Is it in the teens? No
Yeah, it
more
should.
than 20.
Yeah, definitely not more than 20.
Okay. So exactly. Like Penn State has like 25 sports or 24 sports. So you're not taking football money and giving it to someone else, or you have a more focus on football. Texas A&M, it's going to be football. So I think the only way Elko leaves is more money, which I highly doubt Penn State can give him more than what A&M is doing, and the other is location. Other than that, I think Mike Elko is going to get a contract extension before the end of the year. I would love Mike Elko. As out of all of the established coaches that are still on the hot board, I really like Mike Elko, and I think he would be a great hire. I don't know if he would 100% be better than what James Franklin has done over the last 8 years, but I can at least feel better about the hire. But I don't see him going there unless he really wants to be back to his roots.
Yeah, the other piece of it that I think may be interesting, because if this is a purely money conversation, I think A&M has the resources to outdo Penn State there. Just from conversations we've had, facilities, things like that, but the relationship aspect. I think as long as Trev Alberts is in position at A&M, I think Trev Alberts and Mike Elko are pretty tight. My question, because there has been a little bit of turnover at the university. The former president stepped down. A&M's in the middle of a president search. It's kind of weird to talk about, but sometimes those things tie together, right? Like your university president and athletic director tend to work hand in hand, or at least they do at A&M. And, if Trev Alberts feels like whoever the new president at A&M isn't going to be on board with his vision for the athletic programs, I could see Trev leaving, and in turn, I could see that affecting Mike Elko's relationship with the university. That is one piece that I want to keep an eye on for this. Right now, I don't think there's any way that Mike Elko leaves, given what you said. He has an undefeated team. He has all the resources. He is at a program that is starved for football success and will give him the keys to anything he wants in College Station. But relationships can change things. And maybe that's just me thinking back on a situation in A&M baseball where Jim Schlossnagle takes A&M to a runner-up finish in the national championship and leaves for Texas because he has a strong relationship with the athletic director there, Chris Del Conte. So it's that relationship piece is something that I definitely want to keep in mind. But as far as, I feel like it's a pretty lateral move. And I just don't see Mike Elko taking it if it's a money decision. Like you said, like we talked about with the roots and the relationships. Those are the two things that I could see affecting his decision to move.
And why would you want to rebuild? Like Penn State's going to go through a massive rebuild. You have the foundation. Like you've created this. You have, and I just don't see it happening. Again, unless, like you said, the relationships with his family wanting to be closer. Because here's the other deal. He also recruits the Northeast very well. And him going back to the Northeast could help. But like I said, I don't see it happening. I still think, there were reports today from really good beat writer for Penn State, Tyler Donahue, reported today that every day it's looking like Matt Rule to Penn State, which we will talk about that at a later date. But unimpressed with that. All right. Let's recap?
Let's talk actual football.
Let's talk actual football here. Friday night, the big game of the night. Louisville upsets Miami 24-21. Jeff Brom does it again, man. Like, does it again. And I was super impressed with Louisville's defensive front was excellent. Their defense played really, really well and forced 4 Miami turnovers. The thing is with this, Jay, and this is the Jeff Brom experience. And again, it hasn't happened yet this year, but Louisville wins a game like this, and then they'll drop 2 that like they have no business losing. And that for some, I don't know why. I don't know if it's talent. Jeff Brom gets his teams up for games like this. and they just falter at other points. But today we are celebrating Louisville. Big win for them.
Yeah, I think it's a mentality that you kind of get if you ever see clips of Jeff Brom from the XFL. We're just like when he's talking about uh, how hard headed he is, and
Mhm.
I think like that translates when you have a chip on your shoulder, and his teams kind of reflect that. And so that's why they play so well against top flight competition, is because they inherit that we'll call it chippiness. It's not
Oh,
chippiness in the
okay.
sense of
Okay.
sports, but in the sense of, a chip on your shoulder. Uh and they just played so physical. I think it was something that, Miami, the other piece of this is I feel like Miami always has these types of games too,
Yeah.
where they don't perform up to expectations. But yeah, just a really great performance by Louisville. Do you worry about Carson Beck at Miami at all?
He looked so good. Like
It felt like a regression, right?
it did. I was believing. I was like, "Oh, the redemption story." And hey, Friday night team with a chip on a Jeff Brom team with a chip on their shoulder. Um, I don't know. Let's see what happens next week
Yeah.
or the next time Miami plays. Because yeah, I don't want to sell Beck off quite yet.
No. And I think quarterbacks can also have bad games from time to time and it
Yeah, it
not be
happens.
indicative of who they are as a player.
Mhm.
I think he has taken a step forward this year enough to like buy him some grace there,
Oh yeah.
but we will continue to monitor that situation.
Oh
Not
yeah.
the only upset from Friday night either, though.
No.
Minnesota with a dominant win over
Dominant.
Nebraska. They
Yes.
played Minnesota football really strong in the trenches. They beat them 24-6. Just shut down that Nebraska offense.
Nebraska didn't score in the second half. And like dominated up front in the trenches. Nebraska has a serious problem on the offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah.
A serious problem, and Minnesota took full advantage of it. Um, has
Which
how
is
many?
crazy, by the way,
Yeah.
because I think about Nebraska as one of those programs that is so good in the trenches.
Yep.
Uh, I mean, going back to the Pelini years and Dominic Sue, but like obviously the Tom Osborne years, like they always had strong, corn-fed
Yeah.
offensive lines that you could count on to lean on people, and it just feels like they're completely missing that now.
No, definitely. And I'm disappointed. I didn't see any broken bits. I didn't see
You
any.
didn't get the chair.
I didn't get to see the chair. I was kind of back and forth between some of the games, but like I didn't get to see the broken chair. By the way, Jay, Minnesota, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row. Nebraska has not beaten Minnesota in football since 2018. Minnesota has won 6 straight. Pretty good. Pretty good for the
Pre-
Gophers.
pre- Pretty good for the Gophers.
Listen, Minnesota always have to bring your A game against Minnesota. And I hate to say this because it is rivalry week for them. They're kind of Minnesota light. Or sorry, they're kind of Iowa light.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel bad saying that, but like they are. They're kind of like what Iowa is, what Wisconsin was a couple of years ago. Those three, just you gotta always bring your A game, no matter what. You have to bring your A game for those three schools. Have to. And PJ Fleck,
Well, two
great
now.
coach. Well, yes, two now because Wisconsin was stupid and got rid of a coach that won 8, 9, 10 games a year. But that I
Well, and
digress.
also because Luke Fickle tried to go air raid, which didn't
Yeah,
help.
yeah, exactly. That's a story for when he gets fired.
Yeah.
But yeah, Minnesota, good for the Gophers. PJ Fleck, man, he does such a great job, and I wish Minnesota media, the Vikings people, would get off of his back because he does such a great job there, and I don't think anyone in college football truly appreciates how well he actually does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to Saturday. Vanderbilt's in the top 10 now. Just putting that out there. They beat LSU 31-24. Fantastic football game. The other piece of it is it felt like Vanderbilt dominated in the trenches. The
Mhm.
same thing. Like I thought they were pressuring Nussmeier, which I think that's more of an indictment of the LSU offensive line than
Yep.
anything Vanderbilt has defensively. But they also did a great job running the ball. Diego Pavia was electric as always. I mean, his escapability in the pocket is just so fun to watch.
Mhm.
Uh, and Vandy's 6-1 with the one loss coming to Alabama. I mean, you have to be over the moon if you're a Vanderbilt fan right now. Clark Lee, uh, Jerry Kill on there on the staff, Tim Beck at
Yeah.
offensive coordinator. Like they have put together something special in Nashville.
Mhm. Yeah, it's great. Again, Pavia, he's the X factor. He really is. He is the leading rusher, which I do worry about for future games because you can't
Well, and
do
they had
that
an
every game.
Cedric Alexander, which didn't help.
It did not. But no, it just seemed like when Vandy needed to make a play, they did. Like whenever they needed something, Vandy got it done. Listen, I think LSU is still good. I just don't think LSU is as good as we thought they were. Vandy, big test this week, but that is such a huge win. Actually, and I saw who was the guy that tweeted it? Oh, it was a Harvey Updike burner account.
Okay.
Said the biggest disrespect in that game is Vandy didn't storm the field.
Now, I have a point about this.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think that is disrespect at all. I think it's more showing you how good Vanderbilt is this year. They don't
Okay.
feel the need to rush the field because that is just how good they are as a program.
Mm.
We don't need to rush the field just because we beat another ranked team because we are also a ranked team. So that's again, I want to give Vanderbilt credit there. They
So
didn't need to rush the field.
that's more, hey, we're good. We're good this year. We don't need to rush the field. Then LSU isn't that good, so we're not rushing it.
Exactly.
I like that. I like your spin on it more than mine. All
Oh
about
man.
the all about uplifting here.
But I tell you what's not uplifting is how the people in Baton Rouge feel about Brian Kelly right now.
Who could have saw
Uh,
that? Who could have saw that coming?
I, I talk about this with Mike Craven on Aggie Warpod a lot, or he brings it up. Being likable buys you goodwill.
It does.
Being Brian Kelly does not.
No. You can't lose football games and be an asshole.
Which
You
is
can't.
because he doesn't have a bad record in Baton
No.
Rouge, but you have a little bit higher standard there.
Right.
And again, the personalities doesn't really
You can
work.
be an ass. You can be an asshole as long as you win. Like it's that easy,
Oh man.
But no, it's not looking good. Brian Kelly, stay away from State College, Pennsylvania. The next time.
Oh man. Going from an unlikable coach to a guy that I kind of like.
Both these guys I like.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Manny Diaz to feel super strongly. I
Okay.
think maybe it's because he was defensive coordinator at Texas. But Georgia Tech beats Duke in Durham 27-18. This is just the way Georgia Tech wins football games. It's never
Yeah.
pretty. It's ugly. It's a knife fight.
Mhm.
Haynes King still tougher than a $2 steak. Really fun to watch play. Uh, Duke had chances. They just couldn't capitalize. They weren't able to finish drives, and I think that was the story in this one.
Not being able to finish drives, Jay, and the 98-yard fumble return for a touchdown,
That swings
like
momentum a bit, doesn't it?
that swings momentum a lot. I mean, Duke controlled the majority of that first half, and just that touchdown, that fumble recovered touchdown, it just absolutely killed them. Tried to get back into it. Duke can't capitalize. They're having a hard time on offense. They're really kind of struggling there. And when they were moving the football, again, like you said, weren't able to capitalize. That's a big win for Georgia Tech. I had Duke, unfortunately. And listen, Duke football is solid. Okay, they've went through multiple coaches now. They've done a good job of getting a coach in there. I really like Manny Diaz. I think Manny Diaz can do great things. I think he can do great things at Duke. It wasn't their day. Just was not their day.
Yeah, yeah. And I think Brent Key star grows with every week. They're 7-0.
Yes, they
It's
are.
the
The Yellow
bees, man.
Jacket.
The
Yep.
bees. Moving on, Arizona State gives Texas Tech their first loss of the season. Hand up. I was just saying that Texas Tech was going to cruise through the Big 12 after the first few weeks. I know better than that.
Nonsense.
I have watched enough college football to know better than that. Sam Levitt back. I think Arizona State had. It feels like with the way the season's gone, maybe that target is no longer on
Ooh.
their back.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that Arizona. So really, really, this was back and forth. It looks like Texas Tech had completed the comeback, won the game, and then Arizona State goes right back down the field to score with seconds remaining. And Texas Tech has a chance, but they're not able to capitalize.
No. I think the major difference in this game is Arizona State's offense with Sam Levitt back was able to take the pressure off of their defense. They're on the field longer, they're having drives, and now their defense isn't on the field for the majority of the game. They played well, they played fast. Again, Texas Tech had a shot here. They made the comeback all the way. Arizona State, Jay, it looked like to me defensive back from Texas Tech loses Tyson on a wheel. And I don't know if it's a wheel or if it was I ran out of real estate and I'm just going to turn up the field, because that's what receivers are taught, that, okay, quarterback rolls out. Oh, I've run out of room. I'm going to now drift up to the sideline. And Tyson gets loose, sets up a last touchdown. Texas Tech Hail Mary was there. It was there, but couldn't convert. But it had a long bat to it as well. But great game, excellent football game, loved it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, again, just moving on to the SEC. Georgia hands Ole Miss their first loss of the season. Banger of a game. It looked like Ole Miss pulled away, and then Georgia comes storming back. Just a really fun contest between these two teams.
Yeah,
The same way that it feels like Alabama maybe has Kirby Smart's number. I feel like Kirby Smart has Lane Kiffin's number.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of coaches have Lane Kiffin's number. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I think a lot of coaches, I think Lane Kiffin's a good football coach. I think he's a great offensive mind. I think a lot of coaches have his number. Yeah, here's the deal. Georgia getting key stops late in the third and fourth quarter. That's what it turned into. Both these teams had a hard time stopping each other. Georgia figured it out late, and I think they just warmed down in the final 20 minutes of the game, and I think that was your difference here. Great football game, though.
Yeah, fantastic
Excellent.
to watch.
Probably might have been the best game of the day.
No.
So your Aggies survive.
Yeah, and this is honestly about what I expected in this game. Just the way Texas A&M and Arkansas have played each other since the SEC. Like, there's been one or two blowouts mixed in, but for the most part, this game always comes down to the wire. Even though we have moved away from Jerry World, thankful for that. By the way, this game was delayed 2 hours due to weather in the area, which probably does not help either team. The Arkansas offense is still very, very talented. Taylor Green is an incredible player. A&M defense did not look good early in this one, but complimentary football. When the defense isn't able to do well, the offense steps up. When the offense is struggling, the defense steps up. That's just kind of the story of this one. A&M had a 10-point lead there with 10 seconds left. Arkansas does get another touchdown to make it a one-score game, not able to recover the onside kick. But the Aggies are 7-0. Just a first time since 1994, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. So, Jake, this is what I want to talk to you about.
Right.
The burden of doing well in college football. I feel like it's more stressful the better your team does.
Yeah,
each week compounds, because then you're like, okay, we actually look good. We have a chance to do something good. You also have things like coaching searches, right? Like if your coach is doing well, more people want to hire him. I think it's easier to just sit back and enjoy games when you're not worried about the outcome. As the great Noah Khan said, I stopped caring about a month ago. Since then, it's been smooth sailing. And I think that line translates to when your football team does poorly.
Mhm.
Uh, but I wouldn't have it any other way because I love seeing A&M having success. This team is so fun to watch. Again, it just feels like whatever unit is struggling, offense or defense, the other unit steps up and is able to kind of help them.
Mhm.
Are there concerns about the defense? Yes. I think part of that, though, is just how special Taylor Green is as a player. His ability to hurt you with his legs and his arm. A true dual threat quarterback in that sense. Uh, but seeing Marcel Reed and company step up on the offensive side
Mhm.
just it gives you hope that
Yeah.
this A&M game's in multiple ways.
And I've said it before. I think that's huge for a locker room, that you guys are winning in multiple ways, and it really truly helps. Like, the offense isn't just carrying them, the defense isn't just carrying them. They're winning multiple ways, and I think that brings a locker room together when you have different groups picking people up. Um, Very excited for your fighting Ags. Um, Jay, I think that programs that have no expectations but do just good enough probably love, like, there's no stress in college football.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely none. I think Indiana right now is now starting to feel some stress. Like, they shouldn't, but I think now they're like, hey, we might be able to win this.
Yeah.
Like, like they're looking around like, hey, this is so they're feeling it. Like, I don't know. Cal are they the happiest? I always
I
bring
think
them
we've
up.
agreed that the Calgorithm's the happiest.
They might be the happiest, but yeah, it's
Which, by the way, they
doing.
won. They beat
They did.
they beat old Chapel Bill.
Yeah, they did. Um, I just, yeah, if you're no expectations and winning just enough, that's the sweet spot in this sport. Um, Speaking of teams with expectations, Notre Dame beats USC 34-24. Probably one of the most dominant ground games I've ever seen in a football game. 306 yards of rushing. Uh, Listen, Love was awesome. CJ Card, not his best game.
No.
Not his best game. But USC, Jay, had their chances. 3 turnovers ultimately killed them, and they just lose momentum at those moments. And Notre Dame, stops them at the end. USC had their chances and let Notre Dame kind of off the hook.
Yeah, 3 turnovers and a special teams touchdown. Uh, Notre Dame has. I mean, that's kind of what you dream of when it comes to a performance by your team. Again, the rushing attack. Jarian Price is like, I feel like Jeremiah Love gets so much love, no pun intended. Uh,
Yes, it was.
but
Yes,
like
it was.
Price is also, and he, it's not that he's not talked about. It's just that maybe he's not talked about enough because he is an electric player. That kickoff return was so fun to
I was just
watch.
gonna say that kickoff return was awesome. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people wrote Notre Dame off after their 2 losses early this season.
Mm.
I know Miami has dropped now. They were 2 at one point. A&M is obviously 3 now. No shame in losing those 2 games, especially by 1 score.
No, yeah, absolutely not. Notre Dame's still very much in it. Um, Alabama smokes the cigars on the third Saturday in October. Here's the thing, Jay. The pick six, the 99-yard pick six to end the first half is an absolute backbreaker. And I don't think Tennessee recovered. I just think it just stayed that way for Alabama the rest of the game. Tennessee's defense runs out of gas towards the end. Also, Tennessee was gifted a turnover that I still have no idea. Like, I have no idea how they ruled that his arm wasn't going forward.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that turnover. I did see the pick six though, and
Yes.
echoing your comments about the backbreaker,
Mhm.
it is so hard when you lose that much momentum going into the half to come
Mhm.
out and put together enough to win a game. And I think that was the story of the day. This Alabama offense is super fun to watch. Tennessee, their defense is not great by any means, but the Alabama offense is electric. Like, this is must-watch television. It feels like week in, week out. It's crazy to see that this is the same team that lost to Florida State earlier this year. Like, it's night and day from what we saw to begin the season, and it feels like Alabama's the favorite in the SEC right now.
Oh, yeah, they are. And you know what? Maybe that loss to Florida State might have been the best thing for him. And listen, Saban said that. He said it like, hey, sometimes a loss is sometimes just what you need.
Yeah. Sometimes when you don't have a chip on your shoulder, you need one placed there. And I feel like that's exactly what they did. Holy War, one of the best rivalries in sports, in our opinions. I think we both agree on that, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
BYU wins at 24-21. They're still undefeated. These two teams are so physical when they play each other.
I know. They
Like,
are.
I just love, like, this is the type of football that I love seeing. And it feels like it happens every year. These two teams just go at it. Never gets old. I'm so glad they're in the same conference again, playing each other on an annual basis, because this game needs to always, always, always happen.
Yeah. Also, Jay, blue versus red uniform combo is absolutely gorgeous. And might I add, so I'm at the girlfriend's this weekend watching ball, and it's Sunday
I saw that
morning.
Bloomsburg. We'll have to talk
Yeah,
about
it was
that
at
when
Bloom.
FCS
Yeah,
Bennett.
it was a bad
Postpone.
Postpone. But I'm watching the condensed version Sunday morning, okay, of this one, because this was the late one on Saturday, and she's just kind of like kind of watching and then not, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she just goes, "This is like a very exciting football game. Like, why aren't Penn State games like this?" And I'm like, one, it's the Holy War. Like, come on, this is going to be exciting. But that's just the type of football game this was. This was an absolute banger. Utah goes for 4th and 1 in the early, doesn't get it. Second time, it was 4th and 7. They're in kind of like a no man's land. So for the people like, why go for on 4th and 7? They're kind of in no man's land there. Doesn't get it. BYU kind of controls the second half. Utah tries to come back, gets the onside kick, illegal touching, BYU, game over. But a super, super fun football game.
Yeah. Again, this is must-watch television every week, every time it happens. If you get a chance to watch the Holy War, you watch the Holy War. You know it's going to be just psychotic.
Yes, you do. All right, let's get into scores from other games. Cal beats North Carolina 21-16. We already mentioned that one. SMU beats Clemson 35-24. SMU moves to 5-1 after their good year last year.
5-2.
Sorry, 5-2.
They've lost to Baylor and a loss to TCU. Neither one of those losses are great, but they're not terrible. And you're still undefeated in the ACC, so that's open.
SMU also avenges their loss in the ACC title game last year.
Yeah.
Our two big group of 5 games from last week end up being absolute blowouts. Boise smokes UNLV. Yeah. That's Dan Mullen's first loss at UNLV, correct?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
UNLV was undefeated up to this point.
That looked like Boise State of old. And James Madison boat races ODU and the Fighting Ricky Ronnies. Great game in the first half.
Yeah, it was. This was an electric game in the first half. These two teams were just going up and down the field, trading punches. So much fun. And then James Madison pulled away. Again, Harrisonburg, Virginia, looks like an electric place to watch a football game. Jake, maybe one of these days we meet up there. I feel like it's.
I would love to go to Harrisonburg.
It's a lot closer for you.
Yes,
but I still like. I drove through there when I went to the NASCAR race at Richmond. Stopped at the stadium, took a picture. R.I.P. Pocketuck. But it was a beautiful scenic area.
Easy to get to.
I want to get back there and watch a game there. So let's do that at some point.
I would love to do that. I've been trying to get my buddies to go to JMU for a little bit. I would love to get circle a like that is going to be like a big time game. I'd love to go there. How about this? I love this, by the way. UAB, after firing Trent Dilfer, beats
Wow.
Memphis 31-24.
Hey, by the way, this is a rivalry game. They play for a rack of ribs. I don't know if you
Oh,
knew that. The
that's
Battle of the
right.
Bones.
The
Yeah.
Battle of the Bones game. They have a barbecue contest too, like the day before. I've done a video on that too. I totally forgot about that. Yes, the Battle of the Bones. A perfect storm of our coach just got fired game and Memphis looking ahead to South Florida
And a rivalry. So you
and
have
the
all of
rivalry
those
on top of it. You
factors.
have all of it
Uh,
together. Good man.
how bad was Trent Dilfer?
I know. And it feels so good to root for the Blazers again.
It
We're
does.
back. We're with
Yeah.
you again. We're with you again. And then lastly, Penn State hard fought game. A lot of inspiration there. Losing to Iowa 25-24. Penn State 4 losses combined for 13 points. And not a power and do not have a power 4 win and will not until November. They are off next week or this upcoming week, and then they play Ohio State.
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. It would be so bizarro world if Penn State, this is the year Penn State beats them. But just really quick for the Penn State people out there, I didn't hate the offense. I didn't hate it. It wasn't good, but again, you got redshirt freshman Ethan Grunkemeyer in there, very limited. I'm still very disappointed in the defense. Jay, this is 2 weeks in a row that under 5 minutes, maybe 6, maybe 5, Penn State just needs one stop, and then you feel pretty confident that they'll be able to like run the ball out, flip field position, like that whole thing. They keep field position, keep that in their pocket. And they give up a giant play. And this time, Mark Gronowski on a read option, I believe it was a read option.
Yeah.
Linebacker fills the wrong big gap. 2 defensive backs totally whiff on Gronowski. He runs for 60-some yards. They score the next play. It's just this team feels just finding ways to lose. Like last year, they were kind of like finding like some of those tough games. They were grinding out, and now it's the opposite. It's like this team's kind of snake bitten. But interim head coach Terry Smith, there was some juice in that game. I hope it carries over for the rest of the year because Jay, right now, you're looking at a 5-7 Penn State team to end the year.
Yeah.
Penn State is fighting for bowl eligibility because it doesn't look like you're going to beat Ohio State. Doesn't look like you're going to beat Indiana. And you got 3 games against teams you should beat at the end, but it hasn't been looking good. But anyway, 4 losses by 13 points. Here's the other thing. One more thing. I don't want to ramble for too long. Jay, you played special teams at A&M, correct?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. I remember a coach always telling me if you block a kick or punt, you are 90% more likely to win from data. Okay. Do you know Penn State has blocked 3 kicks or punts in each of the last 3 weeks and has lost all of them?
Wild stat.
Insane. Absolute insane. But yeah, so Penn State, vibes aren't good, folks. Vibes are not good.
Jake, you know where the vibes are good?
In the FCS.
Yeah, Beaumont, Texas. Lamar remains a ranked team. They needed a 57-yard field goal to do it over UTRGV. Again, this is UTRGV's first season as a football program.
Mm-hmm.
Really great job by that staff to get them to 5-2 now. But Lamar with just 1 loss on the season. I mean, super impressive because this is a program that was a lot of people had written off. So really cool to see the success for Lamar. But let's talk about the game that game day should be at this week if they weren't cowards. Sure, Vanderbilt, Missouri's fine, whatever. We have a number 1 versus number 2 matchup, a rivalry game, massive contest going on in the FCS ranks. You probably already know the 2 teams because they are dominant. Some would call them, dynasties
Yes.
in the FCS ranks. North Dakota State and South Dakota State. North Dakota State is number 1 at number 2, South Dakota State. 7 p.m. on ESPNU. So if you don't watch the FCS games because you don't have ESPN Plus and you're like, I don't want to pay for another service to watch FCS football, guess what, folks? This time it's on ESPNU.
You should have that.
So maybe you have the channel,
should.
maybe you don't. You should have it if you're a college football fan. This is going to be just a massive, massive game in prime time. Cannot wait to see it. 2 incredibly physical teams running into each other. This is what college football is about. Can't wait to watch this one. Again, game day should be here because this is going to be the best game of the week, in my opinion. Yep. But we're telling you now. So go ahead and pencil that in. Pencil that in for your quad box and go ahead and get that ready.
Can I?
For 7 p.m. Central Time on Saturday night, ESPN.
Can I get on my a very small soapbox for a second? Because here's the thing. College game day should be at South Dakota. Number 1 versus number 2. And listen, it's totally cool to be at Vanderbilt. Okay, I understand. I get it. Nashville, Vandy's really, really good right now. I'm watching college game day. Okay. And I do. I still watch it. I can't stop watching it. Man, there is so much filler. Like, we used to hear like different stories. We used to hear about programs that no one really talked about. We used to hear about stories from programs no one talked about. And now it's musical artists. And now it's a guest picker. I have nothing against Jelly Roll, but like, what's his connection to like Georgia? And there is none. And I feel like, and again, this is the problem with anything entertainment anymore. And I really hate to rant, but we have people that aren't college football fans making decisions, and it's all for, hey, how do we not get the college football? How do we get more people who don't watch college football to watch our product? Because someone's like, ooh, I like Jelly Roll, I'm going to tune into this. Hey, I like blah, 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 I'm going to tune into this. And I would hope that it would turn them into college football fans, but it's just optics and data and focus groups. And I don't know.
Or Disney's trying to promote something else.
Listen.
Now, I will say, I did love Timothy Chalamet when he was on. That dude actually knew ball.
Yes, he did. And like, listen, Elizabeth Olsen from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, she was doing a new show that was a part of the Disney. She's D in Always Sunny. Have you ever heard of Always Sunny?
Yeah.
She was a guest.
Sorry, you said Elizabeth Olsen.
Not Elizabeth Olsen. It's Elizabeth something else. It was something else Olsen. I forget her actual. She's D from Always Sunny. Sunny. Anyway, she was an Oregon grad.
Caitlin
Olsen. So that made sense.
The only reason I was so confused is because Elizabeth Olsen is Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, stupid me. I'm bad with names, folks. But like, you killed 2 birds with 1 stone there. She's an Oregon grad and she's promoting something. That makes sense to me. I don't know. Yeah. It's just, I feel like it's so corporate now that I don't know. What have you done to the game I love?
we used to be a proper country. We'll move on though, and games in week 9 in the FBS ranks. Mizzou at Vandy. We already talked about it. Kick it off. Vandy is a 2.5-point favorite. Mizzou narrowly escaped Auburn last week, by the way. We didn't talk about that one, but I like Vandy here.
Both teams coming off of an emotional win. Give me Vandy though, because it's at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Vandy at home.
Michigan State. Michigan State is a 14-point dog at home. Feels like the wheels have come off for Sparty. They're already calling for Jonathan Smith's head. I like Michigan to roll in this one.
Under 48.5. I'm going to go with the under here.
I'm going for the under in the next game for sure because it's Minnesota at Iowa.
For the pig.
39.5. The Floyd of Rosedale.
Yes.
One of the best traditions and trophies and rivalries in college sports. Give me the under 39.5.
Under 39.5. Man, that Iowa line, I feel like everyone's going to be jumping on Minnesota there, but I'm going to stay away from that. Give me under 39.5.
Styles make fights, Jake. Ole Miss, high flying offense. Oklahoma, defensive juggernaut. This should be a fun one. Oklahoma is favored, by the way, at home in Norman by 3 points. I got to take Ole Miss. I don't think they lose 2 in a row.
I'm staying away. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to kick back and enjoy this one. I don't have a good read. I want to say Oklahoma being at home, Ole Miss coming off of a quality loss to Georgia. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about this one. Don't know.
In the group of 5 ranks in the American, we were so hyped for this matchup. It loses a little bit of luster with UAB pulling off the upset, but South Florida at Memphis should be an absolute banger of a game. Memphis is a 4.5-point dog at home. I already picked against South Florida once this year with North Texas. I'm not making that mistake again. I think the Bulls keep rolling.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know because Jay, they want us to take South Florida. They really, after last week, they want us to take South Florida. Give me Memphis plus the 4.5. USF wins. Memphis covers.
There we go. Kansas State at Kansas, the rivalry game, Sunflower State. Kansas is a 2.5-point favorite at home. Oh man, I feel like Kansas State has battled back from the curse a little bit. Like they're definitely faring better than some of the previous teams that have been cursed in the old country in Ireland. But I have no feel for this game, so I'm staying away from it.
I have less of a feel for this game than I do Ole Miss, Oklahoma State. I have no clue, absolutely no clue how this game is going to shake out. If anything, I take over 56.5. If I was going to do anything, I'd take the over.
I think I like the over. BYU at Iowa State. BYU undefeated, coming off that huge emotional win in the Holy War. Iowa State's kind of reeling a little bit. They started off the season hot. I think they were banged up. Maybe they get some guys back. That's my reasoning for why Iowa State is favored by 2.5 in this one. I think I like the under 48.5.
Iowa State minus 2.5. Iowa State wins. BYU hangover from milk for BYU.
Yeah.
Milk hangover.
Milk hangover. And then the final game that we have kind of highlighted here is my Aggies. They're going to Death Valley at night. They are somehow favored for the first time, I think, in Death Valley since joining the SEC. In fact, a lot of people, most teams aren't favored when they go to Death Valley. I think Alabama is about it. A&M has not won a game in Death Valley since joining the SEC. The last time A&M went on the road to LSU and won in Baton Rouge was 1994. Coincidentally, the last time Texas A&M started 7-0.
Take them.
I'm taking the Aggies. I'm taking the Aggies just because LSU's offensive line struggled so much last week against Vanderbilt. I feel like A&M can exploit that offensive line in the same way, force Nussmeier to take some mistakes. And offensively, while this LSU defense is solid, I think Vanderbilt was only the second offense that LSU has faced this year that ranks inside the top 50. I trust A&M to score enough, and I trust the defense to shut down what LSU has offensively, mainly because of the struggles they've had in the offensive line. So I will take A&M in this one.
Jay, I'm sorry, man. I see this line. I see A&M favored. LSU plus the 2.5 after coming off of a loss. I think A&M might need I think they might need a wake up call. This might not be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
I'm taking LSU plus 2.5, and I hate every bit of it. I will not actually bet this game. Jay, I will not physically bet this game because I will be rooting for the Aggies, but I'm sorry. I think LSU gets it done. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I definitely hear you. Hey, listen, we're reasonable people here.
We are.
If I hadn't seen what LSU did, I mean, again, they haven't won at Death Valley. You have to prove you can win at Death Valley at some point in the SEC. The other piece to watch here, people in Baton Rouge are not happy with Brian Kelly. If A&M jumps out to an early lead, things could get ugly
Toxic
and
environment.
toxic in Baton Rouge. Just being 100% honest. Should be a great game though. If I was a neutral party, I would love to watch this one. Sadly, I'm not, so I will be stressing over A&M and LSU the whole time.
I wanted my trip of my buddies to be this. I was like, guys, this is it. Too many people doing too many things. We got too many weddings. We got too many buying houses. Too many grown up stuff. Where we're like, we might have to put LSU on the back burner. But man, this would have been the perfect opportunity. Would have been the perfect opportunity to go down.
It is sold out, by the way.
Yeah,
So.
on a Penn State bye week, by the way. On a Penn State, would have been perfect. Would have been perfect. Jay, but before we land the plane, I do have to bring something up as a giant music fan. The people listening, if you have not done so, please go to Oregon's football page and check out their uniforms. Grateful Ducks uniforms. I absolutely love them. Now, originally, Jay, I was like, wait, what's the connection here? I even kind of mentioned, like, is this like a Bill Walton because he played in Portland type of thing? But I very much enjoy the Grateful Dead. And I did not realize how much the Grateful Dead actually performed in Autzen. Like, It was one of their main staples on the West Coast. But these are excellent uniforms. The Deadhead logo with the duck, it's replaced. The skull's replaced with a duck, and then the lightning bolt is now a Nike swoosh lightning bolt. Tie-dye numbers, and then the bears are on the back, but they're replaced with ducks. I mean, absolutely love it. But it does strike the question, Jay. And again, I'm not trying to be a music hardo. How many guys on that team have heard a Grateful Dead song or know the Grateful Dead?
I have a feeling it's very low.
Like even like me, like when I played, like we had a roster about 80, maybe 75 to 80 guys, and I want to say maybe like 5 dudes listen to like Grateful Dead songs, maybe 5. So I'm very curious to see that. Hey, College Game Day, do a segment on that. Do a segment on, hey, do any of these guys know anything about the Grateful Dead?
That would be fantastic content.
Do anything, like, do you know, like, say, like, I know Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
Or, hey, John Mayer's in there now. Like, give me something.
Can I be honest with you, Jake? Until I like college, I thought the Grateful Dead was a metal band because I'd never heard actually any of their songs. And I just saw it. I was like, it's a metal band.
I thought that until
it's like Slayer, right? Like it just sounds like a metal name.
I would see, this is a really niche story, but like I saw stuff in an elementary school, and like I went over to my buddy's house and they had like cassettes and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is like hard rock type of band. Like this is like Kiss, or this is like Black Sabbath. And then I think I started listening to some stuff in high school. I'm like, oh, this is the Grateful Dead? Like, okay, like I can get down to this. So no, I definitely can understand just from the imagery, how it could be different. But yeah, love the Grateful Dead. And listen, Oregon can do whatever they want with their uniforms. Yeah. Oregon can do whatever they want. If UCLA tried to do this, if UCLA tried to do this, I'd be like, yeah. And that's where Bill Walton went to school. And I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. But Oregon, do it.
I'll tell you what, though. I believe RIP Jimmy Buffett went to Southern Miss. I need some Southern Miss Jimmy Buffett jerseys
Yes.
at some point.
We got to reach out. Charles Huff is follower of the program. Charles Huff,
Yeah.
if you're listening, try and get
Coach
Jimmy
Huff,
Buffett.
get some Jimmy Buffett. Get some
Let's get
Jimmy
Jimmy
Buffett
Buffett.
unis.
Yeah, like Tommy Bahama, like Hawaiian Southern Miss jerseys or something.
It would work.
Please.
You could pattern the black and gold.
Yes, you can. Absolutely. I would love it. Jay, do you have a favorite Grateful Dead song?
The name escapes me. It's talking about Moses riding in on a quasar. You know what I'm talking about?
Actually, I don't know what you're talking about. It does. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I'm not that like. I like the Grateful Dead, but like I'm like huge into Shakedown Street would be mine.
Greatest story ever told.
Greatest story ever told. Okay, there it is. I don't even know that one. A lot of Dead songs.
There we go.
But Jay,
they're different every time you listen.
Exactly. Jay, land this plane for us.
Yeah. After getting into Grateful Dead talk, I'm going to attempt to land this plane. Again, folks, we appreciate all of your support. Do all the things that help us grow as a show. Make sure to download Battle Bets. Tell them that we sent you. Give us a 5-star rating. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Do all the things that help us grow as a podcast. Let's lock in. Enjoy some college football while we have it. Don't forget we have some midweek games to check out. And enjoy this, right? We're in the back half of the season now. It is going to – the moment's fleeting. Enjoy it while you can. I say that as somebody whose team is doing well. I think we all need to be reminded to live in the moment sometimes and not stress over what will or won't happen. We appreciate each and every one of you, and thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you all from all of us at the Get Back Coach.